Hello everyone, Green Gemini here. Welcome back to Oxygen Not Included. We've got our next episode here that we've got to work on. So, went through, did some research in between some things. Today, we're going to focus on heat. As we saw in the last episode, we've got some heat problems happening over here. The basin itself is, warm, right? It's 86.4 degrees. For the most part all around, so pretty warm. The thing that I want to try and do is we've got a cold biome here, and then we have heat happening here. And then we've got brine ice, which actually does really well at taking care of heat. So what I'd like to do is we need to get some refined metals first. If we go to refinement, and I don't have that researched yet. Of course I don't. So we've got to get... Should be fairly easy to do. Where is it? There it is. So we'll get that refinement done. As we're working on that refinement, here's the plan. The plan is to get this brine ice going through some tubes, some pipes that go along here, down through here, come back, go through the cold biome, and just loop all the way back around. And that should hopefully take care of some of our heat problems that we're having. Also want to do the same thing down here when it comes to our smoker. It's in the 90s down here right now, the low 90s. But this is the big area that we need to focus on, which is around and just over 100 degrees. What I'd like to do is we're going to set up a new station here with this battery as well. Actually, I need to cancel that. Then go ahead and build these. We'll build the battery first. Do that. And then what we're going to do to get this started is, since most of this stuff is here already, dig that out. We're going to create a little basin here. Go ahead and put a pump in here. Bottle emptier there. So that'll give us the ability to take this brine water that has accumulated from the ice that has melted to go ahead and put into there. That research is done, so we can go ahead and put that down. There we go. So we already have our radiant pipes. The radiant pipes are what's really going to help us when it comes to being able to get the heat transfer done very easily. Like I said, brine ice or brine water or salt water actually really helps when it comes to the transferring of heat and everything. I do believe that polluted water can also do the same. Yeah, the heat capacity is 2.322, and then thermal conductivity is 0.322. If you look at the brine ice, it's 1.889, so it's a little bit lower, but still, for me, I have found that it works a lot easier. We also found a saltwater geyser down here, which is fantastic. Yeah, it's the salt water that has the 2.278. So I'd much rather use salt water. However, we're not going to be able to do that. Liquid, let's go with brine. See if we can't put that up at a higher... I'm not entirely sure how much of this is going to be available, but we'll see. Get that dug out. We have this now built. So we'll take this nickel ore. Let's change that. Let's go to 10. It's going to give me 50. Plumbing. These are 50 each. So 10 of those is actually going to be about like that, which is about what I need. Ooh, that works out conveniently. Just drop it in there. That's fine. Okay. Let's make you a priority 7. We do have a lot of food now. I'm not entirely sure if it's enough to warrant another dupe yet. Go ahead and just grab some water for now. Do that. Looks like our water is empty out of here. Okay. That's not what we're focused on right now, though. I don't believe, other than washing their hands, I don't believe I need water for anything else at the moment. So we'll need to get this done. As they're doing that, we're going to need to dig this out. Go ahead and get this mopped up too. Okay, we only have 50 available, but I know that I'm making 500 currently. So if I take this radiant pipe and go here, then we're just going to take a regular pipe and we're going to go this way with it. We connect that up. We're going to take this down this way. Hang on. I actually want to make sure so that we have this going in the correct direction. We need to use this liquid bridge. I'm going to make sure it's turned in that direction. So that this knows it's going to go up and over that way. Then I'm going to take this. It's going to come through here. We're going to go all the way to the end. It's going to come up. And connect like that. So then the next thing that we're going to need to do is we've got that here. We're going to need to dig this out. I'm going to want a ladder to go there. That's going to need to be dug out. We'll dig all of that out. We'll have the same ladder go there. That should work. That should do about what we need it to do. Got to set some of my priorities here. So 7's on those. Those are already a 7, which is fine. Okay. Alright, so something that I did real quick is I went into the priorities of the dupes because they were kind of just going through doing their own little thing and whatever they wanted. I'm like, no, I need you guys to focus on the jobs that I hired you for. So I went into priorities, and Abe is our builder. So I gave him that priority to build first. Stinky is supposed to dig if there is a digging option that is needed. Freya is supposed to do research as long as that's available. And then Harold should be cooking. And then if they don't have those tasks to do, then they will be running around doing other things in the base. So we'll give it a little bit of time for these two to go through and get this taken care of, and we'll come back. All right, so we have this kind of up and running. We only have about 14 kilograms, maybe 28, close to 30 kilograms of brine water in here, but we should be able to get a little bit more in here as things start to melt a little bit. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and connect that up, and then I went ahead and created our power here and everything. I just hadn't connected it, so I kind of wanted to wait a little bit. Um, even though it's a little bit of water, I'm hoping that we can kind of use that to cool things down a tad. So right now you kind of see how we've got it 95 degrees. I had to make more radiant pipe in order for that to get in here. But it cools very quickly down to 39 degrees. At the very beginning, 51 degrees. So that should then be able to pull itself this way, cool things down a bit, and then it's going to come back out at 50, 60 some odd degrees. So that right there is going to help kind of cool this down a little bit. And then all we need to do is we just need to maintain and get some of this brine ice that I know that we're going to be able to utilize. If I deconstruct, well, let's do this. Let's do that. And then I think what I want to do is I want to get a storage bin put in here so we can put brine ice in it. So that way when it melts, it'll melt in here itself. But as long as we can get some of this stuff cooled off just a tad, we should be in a better position. We shouldn't be as overheated as much. See, we can see that we've already cooled it down to 94 degrees, so we've already gone down 6 degrees since implementing this. We see how the cold comes through, and then the cold kind of disperses itself throughout the area. We're down to 92 degrees. We've got these things, the batteries that are connected to the shale, connected to everything. So there's a lot of thermal conductivity that happens with this. And if we look at our tiles and with shale, there's no thermal conductivity with this, but still things are connected to one another. So they're going to be doing that. And this just kind of helps radiate and spread that coolness out. And we can start to see now that we've got our buildings going back into the green, which is very temperament. We're down to 90 degrees down here already, just in the short amount of time that we've been talking about this. Let's go ahead and deconstruct this here. And this is a way to naturally cool our base. So let's go with a storage bin here. Because instead of all of this brine ice melting and everything here... Now, granted, I'm not going to dig this out because that is 1,000 kilograms. That's a lot of liquid that can be utilized in this system. This is going to start melting over here because it is going to start getting warmer. We can see right now we're still at about negative 13 degrees. It will start to warm up a little bit, but I want to make sure that we keep intact this iron ore that's here because this is going to hold the cold, right? This is really going to hold that cold temperature for a really long time. Eventually, will this heat up? Yes. Yes, it will happen. However, right now, this is going to help us when it comes to cooling down this little area right here. Let's go ahead and we've got my storage bin here. I can't, okay, brine ice, it's in liquefiable. So we'll put that on a higher priority actually, let's go ahead and put that on a 9 for them to go ahead and get that filled in. Because I should have quite a bit. Let's take a look. So I have 7 tons. Almost 8 tons of brine ice. That is really good. That is really, really good. So if we can get that into here, get that into this. And then the other thing that we can do too, to kind of help cool this, so you can see how, you know, we've got these little things all around and everything. Just these little spots. Since we built in this bridge to force the liquid to go around in a circle, I can take my snips and I can disconnect here. It's still going to allow the water to travel this way, and then it will pool itself right here, so it'll all be together. So we can kind of keep that all together for the time being. Go ahead and get some of that mopped up, get some of this mopped up. Got these guys putting the brine ice in here. And then we can also check the temperature on the brine ice as well under status. So we're at -14 currently. Brine ice actually liquefies. Hang on. What's the temperature? 2.3 degrees, and it's usually about 5 degrees higher than that. So somewhere around 7 or 8 degrees it will need to be. We can see that this has now completely stopped. It's not moving through anymore. But we can go ahead and take this, connect it back up. So we'll have that continue on. And there we go. That's going to help cool this base. We can see already, this is in the green. This is actually doing really, really well now. We are down to 80 degrees down here. This is fantastic. If I want to, and I probably will, because this is holding its temperature, right? So this is currently at 30 degrees that's coming through here. As it's done coming through here, it's not heating very much. So we're at 40 degrees now, 39, 40 degrees. So I can actually take this, bring it down. Instead of it going down this way, I'm going to have it come out, down, over. I know this is lengthy. I'm going to go ahead and create 10 more of this. Then I'm going to do something a little bit different here. We're going to go with the radiant pipe. I'm going to go 3, 4. Actually, I'm going to have it kind of go zigzag around here. Then eventually it's going to meet back up to this, come back up, and go over that way. All right, we actually have the ability to take on another dupe. Our kcals are increasing on a consistent basis now at 62,000. I'm going to go ahead and take May, who has husbandry. We need someone who is going to be able to do critter ranching. So May is going to get improved farming at first. And we're going to build her up to do critter ranching. And that will be our focus in the next episode. Because we have got to get some ranching done when it comes to this base. Because we've got to be able to have more food, yes. And we've got to be able to take a look at all of these new fun creatures. Like in here, this is insane. This is a lot of creatures that are in here. This Rehex thing, or this Rex thing. I don't know, he's pretty awesome. See, their tail feathers can be shorn for feather fiber. Oh, that's a new thing. Okay, which that's kind of like reed fiber to make clothes and stuff. So that'll be good. It'll be used to do Atmos suits. Okay, perfect. So we definitely need those guys. For sure. This is going to be a constant thing when it comes to mopping up this brine ice and everything. We've got our 8 tons stored in here. Still at negative 14 degrees. It's going to take a little while for that to warm up. If I remove it for the time being, that should get it to heat up a little bit faster. Now, probably not the best thing to do that, because as soon as all of that melts, 7 tons is going to take up 7 squares. I only have 3 squares in here, so it's going to pop, and it's going to create a mess. That's what's going to happen. Pardon me. What I need to do is we'll go ahead and build up a little bit around here, and that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That may help a little bit. Just a tiny bit. We'll see. We'll see how that works. We've got our radiant pipes now being utilized over here. Let's go 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 9, 10. Perfect. Okay. And then we're almost done crushing this over here, which is great. Eventually we'll get a metal refinery in. The other thing that we're going to need to do is I may do this in between. I need to dig down here, get this water that we have into our reservoir. I've kind of started building up our reservoir a little bit. So we've got to get that taken care of too. Again, it's going to take a little bit of time, and I'll probably do that in between episodes, along with getting some more research done. Now that we've cooled this area down tremendously, I can actually go ahead and start my research back up again. Research, we've gotten some of it done when it comes to getting over to our, where is it? The blast shot maker right here. So I need advanced material processing, or applied sciences research. We've got to have that for that one and this one. That is going to be our, where is it? It's the radiation technology right here. And we've got to have our rad bolts and all that kind of stuff. And the easiest way to get that is from these thwarts. And that is probably something else that will be put in this cold area too. To kind of help keep the area cool. I'm going to have to go back through and get some of that done. So, I think that's all we have today. This may be a pretty short episode. I want to get this done real quick before we go. We are already using up we've used a quarter of our time when it comes to trying to get this blast shot maker done. However, we're headed in the right direction. I know that we're going to need plastic here at some point, because that's going to need to be used for our research. The data analyst research will be the orbital data collection. We're still going to have some sort of ship that goes up into space with the dupes. So we've got a lot of work to do in 160 cycles. Well, really 100 cycles. We've got 100 cycles to get this taken care of. Ugh. I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't. We'll just have to wait and see. Let's do priority 7 on the construction of that. Let's get that done first. And then my brine ice is only at negative 13, so we should be fine for a little bit there before that pops. Really want to get that done so that I can get these pipes connected. And then I can get... I've got the dog next to me whining, as you can hear. If you can't, it's okay. So, it's first thing in the morning and he's being a little ornery. So, Charlie, knock it off. Alright, come on, I need that one last little thing done, please. I need that last little bit done. I know, Charlie. There we go. That's what I needed. Alright, so pause that real quick. Do that. Disconnect that, deconstruct that, and that should work. Carrying that at 28 degrees, 30 degrees. Even at 30 degrees, it's going to cool this area down tremendously. And then that should help radiate down to here. There we go. That's exactly what I needed to see. 96, 95. Dropping even more. That's exactly what we want. Okay. Look, see, even this is now cold, which is fine. It'll heat back up eventually once we start doing more research again. So I'm going to start on some research in between this episode and the next. Questions, comments, concerns, put it in the comment section down below. If you've made it to the end of the video, you will be able to see that there is a link in the description down below to my new candle company. And in the description below, there is a code for you to get 20% off your first order. And you will also be able to sign up for our email list, which will get you 10% off the following order after that. Or you can use it vice versa. I believe the 10% off when you sign up for our email list will be, I believe that expires after so many days or something like that. So just be sure to, use your discounts wisely. Go ahead and like and subscribe the video if you would, please. That will definitely help the channel out. I appreciate all of your guys' feedback and what you give to the channel. We have some other things that we need to look at as well. We've got a lot of CO2 happening here in the base, so we've got to get that done. We've got to get that cleaned up, which we'll be able to do once I get this water moved into here. And then once I get that done, we'll have to clean up the CO2. We'll need to start creating some ranches. If I look at a 96, oh yeah. 96 will be able to go all the way over here. So we'll be able to have another column coming down for travel. Okay. We've got a lot of room in this base. The only thing we have to be careful of is how far up we go. That's what we need to be careful of. Okay. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I'll see you next time.